Amazing news was just released in Young Thug's case. It states, expect Young Thug's legal team to push for a mistrial. The rapper's lawyers have clearly won the jury over while the prosecutors provided little to zero evidence against Young Thug, as the jury loved the actions that was made by Young Thug's lawyer, as Brian Steele even made Thug cry inside of court when he put his life on the line for his client.
I mean, I'm not saying anything, but if true, that's a pretty serious accusation.
If true, I'll right now. How about that, Judge Glanville?
Your Honor, I object to this.
I don't care about her objection. I'm speaking with the court.
Your Honor, I object.
I'm speaking with the court.
Okay.
I'm speaking
Let
with
him
the
finish,
court.
and then you can state your.
My point is,
making it very obvious that Young Thug made the right decision with his lawyer staff. However, Brian Steele is very angry with the court system for how they have been treating Young Thug. It would be announced, Young Thug's lawyer is fed up and calls the judge in the case biased against either him or his client.
I want to move the case, but when the court, it gives me no pleasure in saying this. I believe that this honorable court is biased against Mr. Williams and or his counsel. And I ask you to consider recusing yourself, or don't do this again to me. This is inappropriate to me. I respect you, but what am I supposed to do? Sit there while you do this? I didn't do anything wrong. I did exactly what you teach me to do and the courts teach me to do.
All right.
But instead, no, I got to finish this. Then I get told to this court says by Prosecutor Love that I'm not being candid with the court and I'm misrepresenting because Mr. Bean never went to the hospital at Grady on September 11, 2013, and Miss Love has a document on her desk to prove it.
As Thug's lawyer is completely right in the situation. If it wasn't for this judge dragging the trial forward, it would already be over by now. We're even seeing rappers tweet, this YSL RICO trial doesn't even seem real. Either Thug is snitching low-key or he paid everyone off, which obviously he didn't snitch, but the trial isn't being moved as a regular court trial would for a RICO case. Even during the trial today, the YSL lawyers called out the state prosecutors for talking the ears off of a donkey.
For giving me the moment to speak. Thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting the state earlier, but the state can talk the ears off a donkey. This continued filibustering has got to stop so that opposing counsel can speak.
Which obviously the state prosecutor didn't appreciate at all, where she would stand up arguing so much with the judge that an officer even had to make her stop. As while all of them were arguing inside of the courtroom, Young Thug was seen trading his snacks with another YSL member, watching and laughing at everyone arguing, making it very obvious the YSL RICO trial is either being corrupt by the police departments for making and dragging this on forward, or the trial is just going to take over 3 years to end, as it would be this moment where Young Thug's lawyer was just having enough. He would stand up and take control of the entire courtroom, making everyone focus on the task at hand. He would then go out to call out the Atlanta Police Department for lying about evidence against Thug. It goes and reads, Your Honor, as my eyes roll, I'm about to show you why I don't believe the City of Atlanta Police Department at all.
Well,
Not conceding that?
well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth.
Yeah, well,
You have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge.
It's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It's not. It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
In the September 17, 2000.
You are saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
How could you say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
As this is the reason that Young Thug could be getting released early. If Thug's lawyer can prove the Atlanta Police Department were lying about evidence against Thug, all of that evidence would then get thrown out of the trial. And let me explain. The judge would first call out Thug's attorney for stating the Atlanta Police Department lies about evidence.
Well,
Not conceding that?
well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth.
Yeah, well,
you have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge.
It's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It's not. It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
in the September 17, 2000.
You are saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
How can you say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
As all of the evidence they are discussing is based around a man named Adrian Bean. The Atlanta Police Department are trying to use evidence against Young Thug that Adrian told them back in 2013. The problem is, Adrian Bean in present day of 2024 has stated that he actually doesn't remember giving the police any evidence to begin with. As the problem is, the police department need Adrian to confirm the evidence he gave him in 2013 is real, but he doesn't remember. The report goes and reads, keep in mind, unlike Trontavia Stevens, Adrian is not bound by a plea deal. He was a part of a 2013 crime where 4 people were involved, but 1 escaped and was never caught. They need Adrian to snitch on Young Thug on the stand like he did in the police in 2013, but now he refuses. As Adrian originally snitched in 2013, but because the police department took over a decade now to start the RICO takedown of Atlanta, Adrian has now forgot about the crime.
After you answer the question, which you have to do.
Because I don't remember nothing that happened in 2013. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand. What I have to do is ask you some questions and determine what you do and don't remember. So, what is your response as to whether or not you recognize the images shown in Defendant's Exhibit number 8?
I don't remember.
All right. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit number 81. Do you recognize what's shown there?
No, ma'am.
All right. What about number 101 for Defendant Exhibits?
You see a car, but I don't remember it.
Okay, that's fine. Is your answer the same for Defendant's Exhibit number 82, number 89, and Defendant's Exhibit 90?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, yes, lots can happen within 11 years. The crime did occur in 2013, but many people are saying that YSL members could have paid Adrian off to not snitch. However, others believe that he actually did forget about the crime. Adrian has had a long life, especially in the last 10 years, going through a lot of issues with narcotics, as well as being in and out of the prison system.
I really don't have any knowledge about 2013, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't really have any knowledge about 2013. Once I went to prison and came home from prison and done my time, everything that happened in 2013 or whatever has been put behind me and set forth. So I've been, working and just doing my thing since I came home from prison. I don't have no knowledge of nothing that happened 10 years ago.
The best case for Young Thug is that Adrian Bean continues to not remember anything, and all of this evidence gets thrown out of the trial. That means the only other person that has evidence against Young Thug is the main police investigator, who truly doesn't have much. As an example, Young Thug's lawyer even called him out for not even being able to use Google to search music about Thug.
Did you hear that, Detective?
I did.
Okay. Now, when you gave your testimony yesterday about you've never heard anyone describe slime in the way you just heard on Mr. Williams number 142, did you ever do a Google search?
No, I did not.
Did you know that question was coming?
No, sir.
You had no idea that the state was going to ask you that question?
No, I thought you meant your question.
No. Yesterday on direct exam, you knew that question was coming, right?
I did. I knew the state was going to ask me what slime meant, yes.
And did you do anything in preparation to say, I want to make sure my testimony is accurate?
I did.
But you never bothered to Google music?
As a veteran police officer detective didn't even use Google about Thug, as he claimed the YSL snitch Trontavia Stevens, when he gave the definition of the word slime, said that he was lying about it for some reason.
Word slime, what does it mean?
Good question. That's a good question. So, the S is for slow, the L is for love, the I is for I, the M is for me, and the E for everything.
That is the only thing that slime meant to you when you had a tattoo put in your body.
Yes, ma'am, that's what it means to, that's what that tattoo means to me.
Is slime ever used in any other kind of way? As
by you or any of the people that
Like breaking it down?
Yeah.
Like breaking it down how I did?
No, like the meaning of the word slime.
No, it's fine.
As due to the investigator looking lost on the stand, the state prosecutor had to help him as the jury was honestly confused. Young Thug is on the stand for RICO, but nobody is actually sharing true crimes that he committed. So the state prosecutor would then bring out a report that reads, Young Thug was named as an alleged firearm man in a 2013 incident during a 911 call during the YSL RICO trial today.
Okay, so who was? I have no idea, babe. I promise I can't tell y'all that. I don't know. All that I know, she came to my house and told me that the guy that shot my name Young Thug, what it's supposed to be. Somebody named the guy is in her house. So I don't know how y'all can do that. I'm trying to go out the house, but you want the phone now. Okay, all right.
As online lawyers are revealing, the state prosecutors had no choice but to release this evidence early. It wasn't even supposed to be shared for another few weeks, but because what Thug's lawyers have done lately in the courtroom, they must have been afraid that he was gonna get released. And while the evidence does look a little bad against Young Thug, Thug's lawyer Brian Steele had a hunch that the main investigator sharing evidence doesn't really know anything, so he would expose his lack of research inside of the courtroom.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, you went through that entire Tumblr account to educate yourself for your testimony for the jurors. Am I correct?
No, sir. This is the only post from this Tumblr account that I've reviewed.
You didn't look at all of Mr. Williams' Tumblr accounts?
No, sir.
How did you know to review this one picture?
Well, when the state asked me to review these particular tweets, this is one that was linked within one of the tweets I was asked to review, and I was asked to review this post from that link.
You weren't curious to know what else is on that Tumblr account?
I was not, no.
Well, since you come back, I'm inviting you to look at it if you want to, but every one of those posts has to do with music. Do you realize that?
Objection, hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
As then what really won the jury over was when Brian Steele would stand on business and challenge the investigator to go home and do more research on Young Thug, then come back with an answer.
Do you know, as you sit here, what all the other Tumblr posts deal with?
Objection.
Basis.
It would be speculation because he said he has not.
I sustain the objection.
You do me a favor. If you come back, which I'll call you if you need, I want you to review all that Tumblr, okay?
Sure.
Account. And then you tell the jurors everything else that's on that Tumblr account, okay?
Sure.
And tell them if it has anything other than music-oriented promotion, okay?
Well, I would say even this photo has more than just music promotion.
That's great.
As you need to remember, the people that are voting on Young Thug's freedom is the jury pool. Everything shared in this video basically explains why the jury doesn't really seem any harm that Young Thug is doing to the public. But you tell me what you think down below in the comments.